Hi everyone, it's Claire from Claire's Food Haven. Tonight I'm going to be cooking one of Eryl's favourite meals. I'm going to be making her a sirloin steak with red wine and mushroom gravy served with creamy mashed potatoes and Brussels sprouts. I'm going to be having some salmon fillets because I prefer salmon. I won't be having the red wine gravy with my salmon fillets though. So I'm just going to show you what we're going to need for this meal. We're going to need a steak, some butter, mushrooms, sprouts, a couple of handfuls of potatoes, some garlic, a little bit of red wine and a few gravy granules. Okay, so the first step is to prep the potatoes and get them boiling for the mash. So I'm going to turn the back hob onto 5. I've already boiled a kettle of water ready for the potatoes. I'm just going to peel them now. I'm just going to nick that off. I'll show you how I cut it. Cut them into reasonably small chunks like that. And do the rest. Okay, just going to put the potatoes into the pan there. I'm going to put the oven on because the salmon is going to be going in the oven. It's going to be cooking in the oven as the salmon fillets. The hob's been on. It's starting to heat up nicely. So I'm just going to pour the hot water onto the potatoes there, about 1 inch above. Above, and they will just boil away nicely. So I've got the oven on for the salmon. So my next stage is to put the salmon onto the baking tray. And I'm just using some foil to cook the salmon in. These salmon fillets, I'm just going to mention them. They're lightly smoked. They're delicious. I had them a couple of weeks ago. And I noticed they were a bit different, and I thought, ooh, these are different. What's different about them? So I had a look at the packet, and it said that they were lightly smoked. Actually, really, really nice, you know. Lovely flavour to them because they're lightly smoked. So if you can get hold of them, I recommend them. I'm just going to wash my hands. Okay, here's the salmon fillets. Sprinkle a bit of salt on them and wrap the foil around them like that. I'm putting them in the oven for about 25 minutes. It'll take about the same amount of time as the potatoes take to cook, which is quite handy. So the potatoes have been boiling away nicely for about 5 minutes. I'm going to start to make the red wine gravy. I'm going to put the pan up to about 4, just with a tiny bit of olive oil in it. Oh, maybe a bit much there. Yeah, maybe a wee bit much oil, but never mind. I'm also going to add some butter in with it. About that much. maybe a bit more, actually, because yeah, I'm going to be frying some mushrooms in there. Right, next stage is to finally chop up some garlic. I'm going to add that into the frying pan, the butter and the oil. Ooh, and potatoes are really going for it, so I'm just going to turn them down to 3 on the hob there. So whilst that garlic is cooking in the butter and oil, I'm going to slice the mushrooms for the red wine gravy here. I'm using chestnut mushrooms. These are lovely. Want a decent amount. If you cut them quite thin, I'm going to cut them thin and then I'm going to cut them in half. Separate them out. Yeah, I think we'll need a little bit more. I'll go for another one. So this is for one person, this mushroom and red wine gravy. So I think that's going to be plenty of mushrooms there. So whilst the garlic is cooking in the oil and butter, I'm just going to prep the sprouts. I'm not going to boil them yet, because they only take about 8 minutes, 10 minutes tops, sprouts. So they don't need to go on yet. So I peel a couple of layers off and then I put a cross in them. That's how I do them anyway. So as I'm doing this, the garlic is sizzling in the frying pan there. It smells really good, you know, like as it's starting to cook, it smells beautiful. Get my wooden spoon there and give it a wee stir. We don't want the garlic to burn, so but we want it to just cook enough to release some of those amazing flavours. There we go. Look at that. If you could smell that. I'm going to add the mushrooms in now. And they are just going to soak up all that oil and butter. Lovely. It's going to get right into the mushrooms, give them loads of flavour. I'm going to add a bit of salt. Turn that down to 3 so it doesn't burn the garlic. Leave that cooking for a bit longer whilst I crack on with the sprouts. Right, that's the sprouts prepped. Let's have a look at these mushrooms, see what they are doing. They're smelling good. I think they could do with a stir. Just Give it a quick stir. Oh yeah, looking good. Smelling great. So now for some fun. We're ready for some fun, folks. Red wine. I'm going to pop. Don't think I'm going to need all of that. I'll just show you what I've got there. It's up to about there on the little bottle. I think I might need at least half of that. So I'm just going to pop this in. Like that. Maybe turn it up to a 4. Let it stir. Yeah, so I used about half of what was there. And I'm just going to let that bubble away. You know, it's going to bubble away for a bit now. The mushrooms have been bubbling away nicely in the red wine. There's only a little bit of red wine to reduce now. So I'm going to put the sprouts on and get the steak ready. I've already boiled the water for the sprouts. Just going to cover them. And put that hob on to 4. I'm going to put the hob on for the steak up to 5. The steak has been resting for about 2 hours. We're bringing it up to room temperature. It's quite a thin steak, see? Quite thin. It's a sirloin, so it should be good. I'm just going to cut around the packet with my scissors. Eryl likes her steak medium to well done. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on one side there, and put a little bit of oil in the pan. Okay. Oops, too much oil I think, but never mind. Right, now this is reduced right down. So I'm going to add a little bit of boiling water into here. Just a little bit. Whilst it carries on cooking. Give it a stir. So I'm waiting for this pan to get really hot before we put the steak into it. This frying pan has been heating up for a good 4 or 5 minutes. It's getting nice and hot now. I've turned down the mushrooms and red wine a little bit. I've turned them down to 2. Yeah, okay, now we're going to fry the steak. Just going to pop it in the pan. Oh wow, it's very nice. I'm going to salt the other side now as well. Just put a bit of salt on that other side. Let that cook for a few minutes like that. Now it is a thin steak, so it's not going to take as long as a thick steak would take. And Eryl likes hers medium to well done, so I don't want to overcook it. I don't know if you've ever tried a medium steak, but I really recommend it because it's not as tough. If you cook a steak a very long time, it gets really tough and leathery, you know, so having it medium is actually the nice way to eat a steak. But you don't want to, I wouldn't want to eat it like my brother does because he has his blue. Apparently blue is when you literally just flash fry it on each side. It barely touches the pan and it's served very bloody. That doesn't appeal to me. But it appeals to some people, so yeah. Turning the potatoes again because I put them down to 3. They weren't cooking enough, so I put them up to 4. Now they're cooking too much. I'll just put them down to 3. Right, we're ready to flip this steak now. You flip it, whatever you want to call it, flip it, fish slice. Let's call it a flip it, I like that. There we go. And you can see it's gone a little bit brown on that side. Now this, I'm going to add some gravy granules into this gravy. I've got, let's start with a teaspoon. There we go with a teaspoon. We won't need much. Give that a stir. I think it's going to need a little bit more water in there. Just a little bit. Turn that up a bit. Oh, it's getting hot in this kitchen. Keep stirring that. Just turning the sprouts down because they're going crazy there, so I'll just turn them down to 4. Oh wow, that red wine and mushroom gravy looks good, you know, it does look good. I think there will be enough there. Going to come back. Right, whilst that's all cooking away nicely, I'm just going to test the potatoes, see where we're at with them. They should be nearly ready now. Oh, it's all smelling amazing. Oh wow, exciting. Yeah. You know what, those potatoes are looking good. I'm going to turn them off. Let them cook a bit longer with the lid on. Go up there. Oh wow. Oh my. I love it when it all comes together, your creation, you know, when you start to see it all take shape. I'm going to flip that steak again. Just flip it on the other side. See how it's looking. Oh yeah, looking really good and smelling amazing. So I'm going to drain these potatoes now. What steam! Just going to turn off the sprouts because they are done. Turn the gravy off. I'll turn off the oven as well because that salmon will be cooked now. That's been in there for a good 25 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes. And I'm going to turn off the steak because I don't want to overcook that. Just put some butter in with the potatoes to give them a good smash. It's going to be creamy mash this, so I want to add quite a bit of butter. Oh, my smasher. There we go. Let's put it right here. Good smash. Oh yeah. Potatoes are well cooked. A little tip: if you start smashing your spuds and you think, oh no, they could have done with a few more minutes, just put the lid back on and they'll carry on cooking under the steam for a few more minutes. So just a little tip for you there. A good smash. You know what, I'm going to put a little bit more butter in there. I'm also going to add some milk in a minute once we've smashed that in. I want these potatoes to be nice and creamy. go. Everything else is okay. That's all looking good. I'm going to add a little bit of milk into this mashed potato now. Just a little splash, not much. Very good. Oh, it's looking great. Finishing touch. Right. Time to start putting this delicious food out onto the plates. Okay. Put that in the fridge. So the potato, mashed potato. There we go. I'm going to drain the sprouts. Sorted. Eryl steak. I hope it's not overcooked. I think it will be okay. Ooh, get it on the right way. And now the salmon. Okay, because I'm having salmon fillets. I'm not a huge steak fan. To me, a treat is a bit of salmon. You know, each to their own, right? Let's have a look at this salmon. Oh yes, it looks beautiful. That smoky flavour is rising up there as well, which is fantastic. Let's see if I can get it out with this. Let's see. I've only got one fish slice. When I'm serving the salmon, I like to take it off the skin. I don't like to eat the skin. Some people might. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing. Ideally, I should be using a fish slice to do this, but I've got two fillets as well. I should be using the fish slice to do this, but I'm not. I'm doing it the wrong way. Don't do it like this, folks. You'll be after it all night. I should have just cleaned that fish slice, eh? That would have been a lot better. A lot more professional looking as well. You know, there we go. So the smoked salmon fillets have a slightly different look to them. You can see that they are smoked. Oh, I need to stir this. Okay, guys, I've just let that sit a bit. I should have stirred the gravy a little bit more there. I feel like I've neglected that a little bit. So I'm just going to tiny little bit of water in there just to spruce it up. That's better. There we go. Oh, that does look good. Yeah. So now I'm going to pour the mushroom red wine gravy onto the mashed potato and the steak. And it kind of goes like this. Wow. There we go. Now, ideally, I would like to have done like a parsley sauce or something for this salmon tonight, but I haven't done that tonight. But here we go. This is the sirloin steak with the mushroom and red wine gravy, so with creamy mash and sprouts. And there are my salmon fillets, smoked salmon fillets, slightly smoked salmon fillets with mashed potato and sprouts. Bon appetit!